Hi everyone, I'm Joe. Today it's time for me to do a book review of The Last Hero, written by Terry Pratchett and illustrated by Paul Kidby. This was first published in 2001 and it has a rather special distinction of being the first and only graphic novel that is officially part of the Discworld series. Other Discworld novels have been turned into graphic novels since their original publication. However, this was designed from the absolute start to be this graphic novel, and I have always considered it to be something that really shows, because Paul Kidby has not stinted on the extreme effort and the extreme level of detail and quality that is in every single illustration. The text, everything in this is phenomenal quality. It shows in every page, in every brushstroke, and it's something that I've always thought was frankly a remarkable piece of work and a very interesting little, it feels like a offshoot book, but remember this is an official part of the series, and it's got some very interesting little ideas and adds to this Discworld. I think, you know, it's worth reading. It's not just one that you think might be useful to read after you've read them. I personally think this is actually something that you should read just like reading any of the other normal Discworld novels, of which there are quite a few, and I love every single one of them. So, first of all, the synopsis of this. Now, the idea is very simple. It is based around the idea of the last hero, which you assume is this gentleman on the cover, who is Conan the Barbarian. However, this is Terry Pratchett. So this is Conan the Barbarian when he's basically elderly. At this point, he's nearly 100 years old. He's got varicose veins, he's got bad knees, he used to have a bad back, but he basically saw some people and got that somewhat alleviated, so his bad back's not as bad anymore. And he indeed has a Silver Horde. The Silver Horde is a group of equally ancient heroes, all with health problems and bad backs and false teeth. One of them is called Mad Hamish, who is in his battle wheelchair, which is frankly fantastic. And all of these characters are simply great. I mean, they're all fun characters, all unique and special, and indeed you have seen all of these characters before specifically in Interesting Times, which was the last novel with Winterwind and indeed Conan and the Silver Horde. In this, they added a few little details and I would like to say finished certain ideas that they have to do with these characters, because in this one, Conan is frankly at the very end of his life. He knows this. Several of his old hero friends have died in very recent years, and he knows that he hasn't got much time left, a few years at most, and he's scared in himself, although he doesn't realise this. He just gets angry by the fact that the gods have let men, especially heroes, they've allowed them to get old and die. He doesn't like this. He loves his life as being, this hero just rushing around doing these sort of heroic things as he sees it. So he wants to, let's say, return the favour on the gods. He wants to return what the original thief stole. And the first thief, who is classed as the first hero, stole fire from the gods. So he wants to return fire from the gods with interest. And this is going to be unfortunate for people that enjoy living on the Discworld, let's say. So essentially, a mission is put together in Morpurg, which involves a rather curious collection of characters, because it involves Winterwind the Wizard, Carrot Iron Founderson, who is one of the guards, and it is the first and only time that they actually ever have met, unless they meet in a future book that I haven't known about, but I think it is the only one time. And Leonard of Quirm. Leonard of Quirm is basically the Discworld version of obviously Leonardo da Vinci, but taken to a rather tongue-in-cheek level with humour and a rather curious and bizarre outlook on life. Basically, he keeps having wonderful ideas for inventions, and then without realising it, he just doodles something in a margin which can be essentially used as a weapon of mass destruction or some horrible weapon of war. You know, by accident, he doesn't realise what he's doing. He's like, yes, I may have designed this thing that could eliminate armies, but nobody'd use it because it's untidy or it's rude or, you know, it's not very ethical. He's not in touch with the way that, frankly, humanity thinks. I mean, a lot of people don't think of ethics and morality, so when they make these horrible choices, sadly in real life as well. So he's a very curious individual, and you've got these three characters. Carrot is obviously the big heroic sort of guard figure, and Rincewind is the ultimate coward in his own words. So they set out to stop, you know, the biggest hero on the Discworld from, you know, paying the gods back. So this goes in a way that you'd probably maybe expect, maybe won't expect, and it's just a frankly amazing tale. I can't say too much more of it on the plotline because frankly I would give things away, but suffice to say the illustrations for the record are amazing. There are ones like this. This is, and it's going to be quite hard to show you, are all of the varieties, or at least a large part of the varieties of Swamp Dragon. You have illustrations on, and indeed this is the three main characters. This is the illustration that I wanted to show you. That is the three main heroic characters: Carrot, Leonard of Quirm, and Rincewind the Wizard with two Z's. Now, the main point of this novel, frankly, is the big adventure aspect of it, but it's also to do with the fact that it's to do with life, frankly, and what you make of it. Conan has loved his life. He's loved every moment of his life. He doesn't forget anything he's ever done. And now that he's getting old and he knows that, you know, he's about to end, you know, his mortal coil, he's scared, and he doesn't like being scared. He has admitted in the past that sometimes he gets scared of things, but it's so instinctively not part of him to be, you know, he must be this hero figure. He can't show fear ever, and fear's almost not part of him. He doesn't know how really. He just keeps, it's just like a force of nature going in that he doesn't know how to handle that. So he handles it by basically being angry at the gods, which obviously triggers the plot off. And it's about what you make of life. He's made a lot of his life. He's had a very active and busy life, doing all sorts of, you know, bobbing gold from temples, rescuing maidens from, you know, evil mad priests about to sacrifice them, you know, that kind of thing. And he's loved it. And there are other characters who have had productive lives, and he doesn't understand how they've had productive lives, but he wants to. He realises that he wants to leave a legacy behind. He wants to, you know, just have some memory of him in the future. I mean, obviously people are going to have memory of, you know, Conan the Barbarian in the Discworld, but he's worried that his legacy, his memory will be less than what he would like it to be. Hence why he and the Silver Horde are trying to do this as well. They want to have a lasting memory in some manner and be remembered, which frankly in our real world is kind of unfortunate because there are lots of figures in the last few decades, I often think, that have wanted to also have a legacy on the world and have gone through some pretty unpleasant lengths to leave it, and frankly have created a lot of disaster. I'm thinking politicians and things often, but you know, not always. So Conan is trying to leave a legacy. Obviously in his case it's not political, it's just a, you know, a sort of story to sort of for little children to speak of and think of, you know, Conan the Barbarian, this phenomenal hero who did this remarkable adventure at the end, if not other many adventures. So it's a very interesting story. The characters are frankly amazing. All the characters, as I've said, they're all featured in other books, but in this, because this is graphic, you see them in a both literal and metaphorical sense in a different light. They act I would say differently, but because this was designed to be graphic from the start, you see how they move, or at least how they would move. Obviously, I mean it's a graphic novel, not a movie, and how they stand and interact with each other on a more visual level, and it creates a really interesting situation because you have these characters that you've known and you do know, and this just adds a little level, not a major level, to the personality. I mean, say Pratchett and indeed Paul Kidby with his illustrations, they don't change the characters in this. They just add a slight variation on them, which I've always considered to be phenomenal, because you can tell this was designed to be a graphic novel, like I said. Others, they were graphic novels that they made of Discord novels. You can tell that they converted a novel that was fully written, obviously very long, into a fairly short graphic novel. Yes, they got all the iconic scenes in most cases, but I don't think they always quite entirely work. This works because this was obviously only and always meant to be this big visual feast for the eyes. It's designed just to be, kind of a wonder of the Discworld, with remarkable artwork, which I'll try and find something really interesting to show you now. Oh, hang on. I literally randomly looked out and found this. This is the edge of the Discworld, which flows over the edge endlessly, which is remarkable, and it's very nice to see it in a very visual manner. And there's a particular person that I want to show you, but because also the librarian from the Discworld, which I've just found a picture of, makes an appearance, and he's part of the Unseen University. That's the librarian. He's an orangutan. Don't call him a monkey, he'll get slightly upset. And yes, he's got a red balloon, as you do, Of course, an orangutan librarian who used to be human but got turned into an orangutan during a magical sort of disaster. Obviously, you'd have a red balloon in a Discworld novel, because this is a Discworld novel, and a very visual Discworld novel. And frankly, I value this novel very highly. So overall, I would very highly rate this very special graphical and visual entry into the Discworld series and universe. It really adds something quite special and a little bit different to the Discworld. The visual ideas and the imagery that it creates is, frankly, I think really important. I think it's part of the Discworld at the right time, being the 27th novel. The bulk of the Discworld Rincewind novels, I should say, have been already finished with. Several of the other major character arcs have finished, and now there are several major characters still ongoing, and indeed still to be produced, like the Tiffany Aching novels. So this is a interesting sort of midway point, I think, even though it's actually more than halfway through, to introduce the idea that parts of this will indeed end, but there will always be new Discworld novels at this particular point, and Discworld is not merely one thing, it's multifaceted with a lot of dimensions, and I think it's frankly something that should be treasured. I mean, I am very glad that I bought this original edition as well, because this particular very large A4 size graphic novel version of this is actually now relatively harder to get. The newer versions are smaller than this, and personally I like having a giant graphic novel like this because it really is phenomenal. And overall, I would highly recommend this if you want to read anything obviously in the Discworld, and also obviously if you want to read a really fun and phenomenal graphic novel, because the level of detail in this, like I said, is remarkable and is frankly impressive. That's all I can say about this. It's just I've always been impressed by this ever since I first bought it. And with that is it for this review. So if you've read or looked at this, as the case may be, then please leave a comment. If you have any other things you want to talk about related to Discworld, or indeed any other book, then feel free. All my social media links can be found in the description box below, as always. And with that said, that is it for this video. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you another day. Bye for now.